man, we are back in black in the building. Shout out to everybody out there at the Court Plantation doing what they got to do to survive. Man, we made it. We here another year. Happy MLK Day to all my fellow foundational black Americans, or FBA, Native Black, as Dr. Clyde Anderson calls it. Shout out to everybody out there. Everyone out there, man. This is it's a different time, different year, different zone. You know, shout out to all my what is it called? Capricorns. What is it? Capricorn season, whatever it is. Yes, my mom's birthday, sister's birthday, cousin's birthday, brother's birthday. It seems like everybody's birthday in January. But anyway, shout out to everybody out there. Yep, mom's birthday, my sister's birthday, my older sister. So shout out to them. You know, celebrating another year, making it around the earth, around many moons, sun. So shout out to everybody out there. Shout out to my brother David from No Compromise, my brother James Youngblood. James, David, look, let me get this shit that I'm handling, and then I'm gonna be, ready. It's just gonna take a little while, man. I gotta handle some business, but we're gonna have to go through these lives again when I have the time. So shout out to my brother James Youngblood, Texas in the building. My brother David, No Compromise. Go check out all his stuff. Georgia in the building. The homegirl Shawnee, Philly in the building. Erica, Florida in the building. Vegas, all my Vegas people. My little sister Angie, Tasha, everybody. My older sister Tasha. It's her birthday coming up. Shout out to everybody out there, man. You know what I'm saying? Then it's my cousin Mariah's birthday coming up. Sorry if I'm putting y'all on blast, but hey, you want to celebrate those days, so shout out to y'all. But we about to get into it, man. We just gonna have a nice little conversation about our FBA great, Martin Luther the King. Let's get it. Let me cut that down, man. Man, do y'all look? This is the first question I want to ask y'all. I just want to ask y'all. I ain't trying to be messy or nothing, but they don't have nothing closed. People still got to go to work. And they ain't even mentioning MLK on any news media outlets or any of that stuff. You know what's so funny? They might as well just take the damn Holloway away. They don't give a fuck no way. First of all, y'all killed the man. So let's discuss this. Amy Schumer and all these people want to quote MLK, but they don't never want to talk about and apologize. I've yet to hear a dominant society person say, you know what, and I want to apologize on behalf of our ancestors for taking away a great man that wanted to bring peace to this United States of America Incorporated. He really wanted to bring peace. He just wanted us to get what was deserving of us, and that was reparations and money. Same thing they doing right now. They want to put all this money into everything else but to foundational black Americans who built this country for free without repayment. So, he's our great, and they always do that. And his life was taken at the helm and at the hands of your good friend, J. Edgar Hoover. So, the person that y'all named the building after. So, no, don't get into look, sometimes people, you have conversations and people like, man, it's the Jews. Man, stop. It's white supremacy. I don't want to hear none of that other shit. I don't care. It's white supremacy. I don't go by, we're not going to go by religion. And no. We're not doing none of that. It's a system of racism and white supremacy, and we're supposed to be establishing a system of justice. And the things that Martin Luther King was able to accomplish was great. I just like how everybody uses his sayings and about peace, but they don't ever want to talk about how they killed him. So I don't want to hear that. And how J. Edgar Hoover tapping his phones, playing recordings, threatening, we're going to expose you if you get the Nobel Pulitzer Prize, or whatever the fuck that award was. Man, all these different bullshit awards that they created. That's why I am the way I am. That's why I think a lot of foundational black Americans are, fed up. They tired of it. They don't want to be bothered. You know what I mean? Having conversations, the main thing people stress about is their welfare and money. And that's what MLK was talking about. They loved him as long as he was talking about peace and black and white and I have a dream. They always talk about that I have a dream shit. When he was like, look, we need that money. I'm coming for the money. Okay, well, he got to go. Because we can't have a whole bunch of black folk talking about reparations. And that's why they like to give reparations to everybody else but us. Confident, look, let me tell you something. Confident, dominant society people, Caucasians, confident people, they going to be like, give it to them. Let's see what they do. Insecure, dominant society people, well, that's not fair. And that happened so long ago. Okay, that's fine. You want to talk about it happened so long ago? Well, the Holocaust happened so long ago too, but they don't never let us forget that shit. The dominant society never lets us forget any of that. But they will be quick to usher us into forgetting what had happened to us. That's why, man, hold on, y'all, real quick. Man, all of this bullshit around. I don't want my damn laptop to motherfucking die while I'm trying to record this shit. Hold on, let me see. I'm about to plug this shit in. Okay, there we go. But yeah, you don't see them talking about that. That's another thing. You know, I just was thinking, I was just like, damn, man, like, you wake up, the first thing I do is check the news feed. Ain't nobody talking about Martin Luther King. Nobody talking about Martin Luther King at all. They give us a little bullshit parade and keep it moving. Because they don't give a fuck about no foundational black Americans. They care about us when it's time to be entertained by us. Then they want to stop, be quiet, such song. If we're not entertaining, they don't want to be bothered. They do not want to be bothered. I look at a lot of things, man. I'm like, wow, man. They named the building after J. Edgar Hoover. You know what I mean? That's so funny. But in the dominant society, they ain't naming no buildings after Nat Turner or Denmark Vesey, but they'll name a building after J. Edgar Hoover and never take it down. Motherfuckers trying to take down General E. Lee statues and all this other shit. Take down J. Edgar Hoover's name off the FBI. Shit. With his cross-dressing ass. So I don't want to hear none of that sucker shit. I just think, in my personal opinion, we need to start celebrating the greats and not allow other people to do it. And they wrong for having people work on a holiday. I don't care. If you're a foundational black American, you should have to go to work. You put in enough work the last 500 years. You are your ancestors. And they built the country. And I'm so man, take the 23andMe and all that stuff. Nah, man. So they can be making up, oh yeah, you know you Nigerian. And so I said, man, get the fuck out of here. I know what the fuck my last name is. I'm foundational black American. Stop with the bullshit. I don't want to hear none of that sucker shit. And I'm so sick of everybody going back and forth and doing all this sucker shit and acting like these type of things don't exist. When you had these conversations with other people in other racial groups, the first thing you should bring up, you know, I remember I told y'all this time, David know this, James Unbug know this. I remember I was telling him this time where I was at the gym and this dude's having this conversation with this dominant society lady. I even brought that up. I was like, it's so funny. Everybody want to bring up Martin Luther King when it's time, you know, to muddy up the waters on something. Well, Martin Luther King said this, but nobody talks about how J. Edgar Hoover had him assassinated. They orchestrated the assassination of Martin Luther King. They orchestrated the assassination of Fred Hampton. They sought out and destroyed the Black Panthers. Nobody talks about that, but everybody want to talk about Martin Luther King, talking about he had a dream. Well, guess what? He had more than a damn dream. He had a dream for us too to receive and get compensated for what we were owed. Nobody wants to talk about that shit. Just like don't nobody want to talk about the national anthem and that third verse. And Francis Scott Keys was a white supremacist. So I don't want to hear none of that shit. That's why when a motherfucker, I remember I worked with a motherfucker, this is a long time ago, boy, that's disrespectful to the flag. I was like, bro, do you read anything? Do you know who Francis Scott Keys is? He didn't even fucking know who Francis Scott Keys is. But he up here want to jump on a side. And I was just looking at him, I was like, you know who that is? He was like, no, who's that? I was like, that's the white supremacist who wrote that fucking song. And in the third verse, he said that black folk were put on this earth to serve white people and be in bondage. Oh, I didn't know that. But I think it's still disrespectful. I was like, what a sucker motherfucker, man. That's why I don't even like having conversations with people. You ain't read no book. I hate to be, I'd be like, well, you know, I always ask the person, like, what books that you read, like, so we can have a dialogue. Because if you, like, you start talking about history and dates, motherfuckers don't want to hear that shit. Then they start talking about the aliens built everything after you start hitting them with facts. That's why it's so funny now. The waters are so muddied up. They ain't even talking about Martin Luther King. Go on CNN. Go on these news apps. They ain't talking about it because I'm looking at it. It's only foundational black Americans talking about MLK because I'm looking right now. I'm literally, as we speak, I'm looking at my phone because I'm like, damn, man. I went on CNN. I'm like, they don't even give a fuck about MLK Day. They don't care about that shit because I'm looking at this shit and I'm like, man, I wonder when they gonna talk about it. I'm letting my news feed reload on my phone because I want to see. Still ain't talking about it. Still ain't talking about it. It's like Martin Luther King don't exist. But that's all right, though. You know, I see all this stuff. I think it's time for us black folk to wake up. Look, y'all need to stop letting Oprah jade your view of how the fuck she is, too, by the way. I had to get on this again. She trying to clean up all that bullshit with Taraji P. Henson. She full of shit. She is really full of shit. She part of the talented 10. That bullshit where it's only an elite group of black folk and they the gatekeepers for all the rest of the black people. And then they pick who the best ass kicking. That's why, I'm telling you, it is the corporate plantation reincarnated. It's just a new version of it. I'm going to tell y'all right now, Martin Luther King did not die so motherfuckers like Oprah could be the gatekeeper and be fucking lapping up to the dominant society like a lapdog, but then around us, we got to be praising her, and she not even treating black folk fair. She didn't do Monique right at all. She treated her fucked up. You don't, look, let me ask y'all something. If y'all hungry, y'all want something to eat, and and you like, you really, you know, your shit is kind of paid, but you like, man, I'm hungry, I really need food, and I'm like, yeah, I can pay your power bill. You like, bro, I'm hungry, I need something to eat, and I'm like, but I can pay your power bill, though. You gonna be like, bro, I don't need my power bill paid. I need groceries in my house. The power bill's paid, motherfucker. I need groceries. That's what Oprah did to Monique. Hey, Monique, we want you to promote this movie. Monique's like, bro, y'all need to pay me for this shit. She like, okay, well, I'm gonna give you my jet. So you use my jet. Fuck your jet. Pay me. Y'all pay me $50,000, $60,000 to do that film. Now it didn't blow up. I done got an Oscar, all sorts of shit. You want me to fly around for free in your fucking jet? For free? Man, fuck you. Pay me. So Monique ain't the first motherfucker, and that's why, and I've been saying this, and that's why Oprah trying to go on there with Kevin Frazier, try to clean that shit up. Oh man, Taraji, that bitch is a lying motherfucker. I don't care what y'all say. Y'all can choose. Motherfuckers always want to put Oprah. Look, Oprah was cool until she started talking shit about the meat industry, and that's when they got her ass real good. Once she started talking about the meat industry, she shut that shit down. That's why I'm like, man, we gotta wake up. We gotta know what's going on. Know your history. For those that don't know, look, go get this book called The Burglary, J. Edgar Hoover's Secret FBI. Go get that book. It just talks about all the sucker shit he was doing. He orchestrated the assassination of Martin Luther King. Then you got all these non-foundational black Americans want to play Martin Luther King and play all these foundational black Americans. That's an insult. And no diss to these British actors. Why don't y'all just stay in Britain and act over there? Why the fuck do y'all need to come over here? Britain must don't pay shit. Because, man, you see so many English actors coming over here and I'm like, what the fuck is you doing over here? I just think it's time for us to not just wake up, but be enlightened and understand exactly where we come from and where we going. And know who our greats are. MLK is a great. He's our FBA great. You know what I'm saying? He stood on principle. What they say, he stand on business. He stand on business. And it cost him his fucking life. You think he knew he was gonna get his life? He was gonna put his life on the line like that? No, but he did. So we gotta honor him, even whether they talking about him or not. Back in the day when I was a kid, they always talked about MLK on these days. Now they don't give a fuck about no MLK, but I like it. You know why I like it? Because it should make us bond and be closer and have these talks and look at each other in a different light and don't look at us through the lenses of any other racial group. And that's another thing I want to talk about too. Hey man, I don't want to hear nobody. Look, let me tell you something. If you don't live down south, I mean, if you live down south, it's different for y'all. But when you live West Coast, we have to start learning how to come together and be on the same page. And the reason why I say that is because these other racial groups are banding together and getting shit done. They getting shit done. And they're becoming quite arrogant. I remember I was at the gym, right, and I was watching my car. It was a sister with another sister. Yeah, nice car. I said, nice car. She didn't say nothing. I just was laughing like, bitch, don't get arrogant. We at the same damn gym, and ain't none of us doing good. So don't get arrogant. Because they was standing by my shit. I was like, oh, that's nice, car. I'll be tripping off that shit. But some other racial groups, they're becoming arrogant. But we gonna see how arrogant y'all motherfuckers are when Trump is in office, and that motherfucker's like, okay, all you motherfuckers are out of here. That's why they trying to make Trump the boogeyman. Look, all them damn charges they throw on Trump. Those, no pun intended, trumped up charges, making a scene, making y'all feel like, ooh, Trump is such a bad guy. He ain't gonna be able to run. Watch this nigga run and win and destroy the Democratic Party. That's why Charlamagne the God has stepped back and said, I'm embarrassed basically backing him because they ain't done shit for black folk. 4 years ain't done shit. Now you about to see them go to these churches. I saw Nina Turner's speech on CNN. She was like, you can't be going to these churches and catering to black folk now. You ain't did shit for black folk the last 4 years. And watch Kamala Harris do the ski eat and go to all these black fraternities. She was on some shit with one of the women that's on the Married to Medicine doctors ladies. And I said, oh God, another mammy. 2 mammies. God damn. Kamami and another mammy. Think they better than everybody because they a doctor. It's like, man, black folk, you don't get it. Racism is a team sport. It's not individual. You better go read Dr. Claude Anderson's Black Labor, White Wealth. It's a great book. That's why you hear me talking about it all the time. That's why you hear David talking about it all the time. That's why you hear David talking about Neely Fuller Jr. I believe in Neely Fuller Jr. shit. The four wall effect and getting together. No, we don't need to be around each other unless it's productive. If we're not being productive, we don't need to be around each other. And he considers all black men infantile in the system of racism and white supremacy. Because you are a prisoner of war. According to Neely Fuller Jr., you're a prisoner of war. This ain't your system, and they dominate 9 areas of people activity. Him and Dr. Francis Cress Welsing came up with these profound institutions of facts that they dissected from racism and white supremacy. Like, that shit blows my mind when you think about how he's like, oh, they dominate 9 areas of people activity. You're like, well, what do they dominate? Religion? How do they dominate religion, Warren? Cesare Borgia. That's all I need to say. David know what we talk about. James Youngblood, just look up Jesus Christ. It's Cesare Borgia. When you go to any black church and you see that Pal Gasol, perm press just for me kid with the blue eyes, that's Cesare Borgia. As in the Borgias. Pope Rodrigo, Lucrezia Borgia. I got the book. Read it. I think he had Donatello, one of those painters, paint them, and he said, I think that's what Jesus looked like. And that's what they thought Jesus looked like, Cesare Borgia. But anyway, I'm just saying, we have to wake up and understand a lot of this stuff because this is very imperative for us. This is knowledge. Knowledge is power. You got to know your history. Know a little bit of your history. Because if you let them tell it, you know what they're trying to do now? Now they're trying to replace us with the Native Americans. Well, the Native Americans built the country. Well, they was here first. Now they want to do that. Okay, look, I have love my Native Americans, but if they were so special, such a special people like Foundational Black Americans, then why did they build the country? Because every book I fucking got, the dominant societies talk about how black folk built it for free. These are white scholars talking about this. These ain't black people talking about this. That's what be making me laugh. These are not black people talking about this shit. Slavery by Another Name was wrote by Douglas Blackman. That's a white dude. He ain't no black person wrote that book. He wrote that book. He talked about we built the railroads. He talked about all that shit. So we have to have a different understanding of this. And we gotta keep saying MLK's name in a positive context. And what we have to do is we have to remind people that, remember, y'all killed him as well. So don't get it twisted. I want you to enjoy your day. Everybody I mentioned for their birthdays, shout out to my homegirl Jerica too, my homegirl Melina. I want y'all to enjoy y'all year, y'all days. Get your vision boards up. Have a plan, not a hallucination. And you know I'm always say this, and all y'all parents, all you black parents, all you black parents out there, y'all stop that. Y'all see your kids doing something, handling business, reinforce that positive likeness upon them. Basically, if they doing something good, reward them with positivity. Don't just be patting them on the back and tell them how good they doing too. Help them out sometimes. Some people need a little bit of help, and if they need a little help them. Stop being cheap and help them. I talk about that with family members all the time. Don't be cheering them on. Talk with your pocketbook. Because stop. Because in the dominant society, They ain't gonna let their kids be out there working 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 jobs and doing all this other shit. They gonna make sure they got the money. Stop that and help. Stop that. Like, Warren, why you saying that? I'm saying that is because I've been around other racial groups and I see what they do. I've had coworkers where they parents sold their house and gave the kids $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 so they can go buy a house. I got coworkers like that to this day that are way older than me that do shit for their kids. I remember one of my Italian OGs, me and him, we worked together for a long time, from 2007 to about 2014. We worked together a long time, part-time, out here in Las Vegas. And he was telling me, like, his mother and all that, like, you know, they didn't have to. The kid that's doing it, if you're doing well, you at least trying, you getting rewarded. And I said, wow. He was like, yeah. He was like, but it's probably an East Coast thing, because, you know, he said he knew a lot of other racial groups where that was happening too. I'm gonna have to chop it up with David and James Youngblood about this subject. We need to talk about this, David. This is a very good subject of what foundational Black Americans reward their kids with positive reinforcement, or they just kind of give them a pat on the back. We need to talk about that. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Does it make you stronger? Does it help you? How does it? Well, I want to get their perspective, these brothers' perspectives, man. Because my brother James Youngblood, he's in Texas, so I want to get his perspective. I want to get David's perspective because he's from the East Coast, but he lived in the South, so I know he can say. Because I know on the West Coast, you see some Black families where they rewarding, and some Black families, they don't give you shit. And I'm used to it. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't bother me. I'm just saying, for all whoever's listening, if you got parents and you're trying to do something with yourself and you need a little bit of help, I'm not saying it's supposed to take care of you. That is your parents' duty to make sure they put you in position to win. Because in the dominant society, especially our lovely brothers and sisters, a part of the dominant white Jewish community, they don't play that shit. I told you that shit before. I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna end this shit. I remember I used to make beats or whatever, and I was in this crew. It was two white brothers. One was, he was Jewish. I didn't even know he was Jewish until probably about 6, 7, 8 months after he was making beats. Because, you know, he didn't really talk. He was really into hip-hop. He didn't really talk about that shit. And then he started telling me what his look, let me tell you something. When he found out I wore contact lenses, he's like, bro, you wore contact lenses? I was like, yeah. He's like, all right, don't trip. Man, that motherfucker started giving me bottles of Eye Solution. And I was like, what the fuck you be doing? Just buying a whole bunch of it? He's like, nah, man, my grandfather is an optometrist, so he be getting all this shit. He just sent it to me, so here, you can have this shit. I didn't pay for Eye Solution probably for like 2, 3, 4 fucking years. Because you just give it to me every time. And I still didn't ask. I just like, oh, damn, that's tight, yo. Your grandfather's a optometrist. And then he started telling me the culture and how he had a bar mitzvah and how his dad was put in position where this is when 9/11 happened. You know, in Las Vegas, Nevada, when 9/11 happened, niggas was not going to work. The casinos was shutting down. They was sending people home. People was losing their jobs because people wasn't flying out here to come visit. They wasn't having conventions out here. So like I told y'all before, his dad sat on the couch for a year and just watched TV and listened to us make beats. And I was like, damn, man, y'all gonna be all right? I'm thinking like, damn. He's like, nah, man. Then that's when he told me, like, my grandfather had my dad buy savings bonds and stock when he was 18. And he's had them shits. And his dad was like, probably like 43 at the time. Because this was like, 2001. So his dad was like 43 at the time. So he was like, yeah, my dad is straight. Like, he was like, my dad just lived off his savings bonds and the stock that my grandfather made him buy when he was a kid. I was like, your grandfather made him buy stock? He was like, yeah, my grandfather made my dad buy all these savings bonds and stock and all this other weird shit. He was like, so my dad just, every couple of months, he'll sell stock and sell some savings bonds. I was like, so your grandfather know? He's like, nah, he made him buy so many of that shit when he was like 18. He just made him buy them and hold them. I was like, how much stock did he buy? He's like, a whole bunch. You just making him buy them. He made him work and made him buy savings bonds and stock for years. And he just made him hold them till now. And then he just sells some of his stock. Yep. I said, and that was my first introduction into how that family works. And his dad did a lot for him too. His dad didn't spoil him, but he made sure he had a car, make sure he had a job, make sure he ate, he was straight. You know what I'm saying? And I learned from that. He was just like, yeah, man, just, if I'm doing a little bit, they'll help me. So I want to talk to David and James Youngblood and see our black families doing enough for each other? Are we not doing enough? These are just discussions we need to have, because it's about raising the vibration of our thinking amongst our community. And man, I'm gonna end it with that. Y'all have a great day. Enjoy your MLK Day. If you at work, tap into your inner self and just enjoy that day and reflect on what he did and how he put his life on the line, so we can be enlightened about what is needed of us and what we need to be demanding from the dominant society. Hey man, I got nothing but love for y'all. I already know what it is, man. Guilty nigga. I'm out. Peace.